Good afternoon, everybody. This is Scott Reed, Sports Authority at the Polynesian Bowl in Hawaii. As you can see, we are sitting here on the beach right now. We had a great first day of talking to everybody with some great interviews. Today, we're going to talk to Coach Gary Kubiak and a little bit about his experience getting here and his experience leading up to this. Scott Reed with DuckSportsAuthority.com, sitting here with one of the coaches from the Polynesian Bowl, Gary Kubiak. Now, most people will know him from his time in the NFL. But because you coach for the Broncos, I'm going to ask you the question as an Oregon guy. What do you think of Bo Nix this year?
Oh, I think it's tremendous. For Sean to take a rookie quarterback and to watch him grow throughout the course of the season and to watch a team grow. Vance did a great job on defense. So I know they're disappointed today, but boy, they got a lot to look forward to, and Bo's a big reason.
Yeah, they are disappointed. It was 31-7 today. I saw the final score. They took an early lead. Bo to Oregon grabbed Troy Franklin. But a lot of people really were harsh on the pick when Sean first picked him. But that's the nature of commentary, right?
That's part of football. I mean, there's always going to be some second guessing to what's going on. But, Sean had a conviction and a commitment, you could tell, to the young man from the get-go. But you got to give the kid a lot of credit for him to make up that much ground and to be that effective as a rookie player. It tells you how well he was coached, but it also tells you how committed the young man is. So it's going to be fun to watch. I'm a big Bronco fan, and boy, they're going to be fun to watch for a long time.
They are. Now, we're also going to sit here and we'll talk a little bit about this. We're in Hawaii at the Polynesian Bowl. How much does it mean to you to be a part of this? Because it's something different.
It's really cool. When you coach for a long, long time and you get opportunities like this, maybe we go be involved, after you get out of the game or so to speak. So Miles called me a couple of times. I have not been able to come out, but this year I told him I definitely would. And I just think so much of him and Jesse and who they are as men and people. And so I know what they're doing here is right and doing it the right way. So I'm just looking forward to being a part of it, getting to know some of these high school coaches, getting to know these kids. And, I can go off and follow them for the next 4 years as they go play.
Which is interesting because covering recruiting, we follow them from the time they're in 10th grade and we see what this happens. We knew about Bo Nix when he was a sophomore in high school in Auburn, but I think the culture, I know you've been involved probably just because the players and the Polynesian culture have been around the NFL for a long time. What's it like for you to kind of experience that culture?
For me, it's funny, it's like drafting players. I think all of us as coaches have certain schools that we have great reliability with. Like Wisconsin players always played great for me. In Iowa, I don't know, they just did. But there's something about their culture and their commitment to anything they do and the type of people they are. And when you get them on your team, you're going to get the best out of them. You're going to get their best. But they have a great influence in a team environment. Very good men, very strong men, and it rubs off on the football team. So what more can you ask for? And they happen to be great athletes as well.
And I think the thing for me that stands out, and I'll share this because I have a tremendous amount of respect for some of the choices you made as a person, turning down opportunities for promotions because of family reasons. I've been there myself, and I know that's something that family culture is something that deserves respect. And I think probably the culture that they have, you feel because you share some of the similar characteristics without being in necessarily the culture, the family opportunities. When you choose family over career, that's a way better person than a person who just keeps moving around just for incremental.
Well, that's very nice of you. I was raised by a good man, my dad, and he always taught me if you're going to do something, do it the right way. And so I've been very fortunate. Got a great family. My wife's been tremendous throughout my career and allowed me to bounce around and do what I love doing. So feel very fortunate, and that's why I'm here for this game, is because I feel the same way about a couple of these men sitting up here today. So looking forward to this week.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate your time, Coach. Thank you very much. And there we have it. It was a really interesting first day of the Polynesian Bowl, checking in with players. We got to talk to a couple of 2026 prospects, and I really think one of the greatest things that the Polynesian Bowl did this year was add some 2026 players to the rosters, because I think we're starting to see a lot of programs where the players sign early and do not show up to or are unable to participate in these all-star games after they've already reported to campus or whatever reasons the schools have chosen to do that. So I really think getting to check in with Brock Harris, Tank Harrington, we'll talk to Kenya Pepe tomorrow, and Deuce Geralds and maybe a few others just about the future. And I think getting that opportunity while also still getting the chance to talk to some of these 2025 kids Really great conversation with Zaire Addison today. Really good conversation with Tredarian Ball, and he is also a 2026 guy. And I think talking to some of these kids and getting this experience in this way with sharing classes, it's going to be a lot of fun. And I think you're going to learn a lot about these prospects and these committed kids and these signed kids. And I think you're going to learn a lot about the coaches. And I love doing the Polynesian Bowl. It is one of the most interesting things. Sure, I get to spend some time in Hawaii for a week, but it's about more than that. And I think if this were in San Diego, I would do it there too, because I really love the message that they try to send. The combination of the culture and football and the environment and the different things that are brought to this game by this group of people, Manu Tanavasa and Jesse Sapolu and the guys here that run this. It's just such an incredible event. And I wish I could bring everybody here and let them all experience this with me. I can't afford that, but it would be so much fun if people were here to really see how these guys respond to all this. And the ones that aren't able to make it, I feel bad, because I think there's so much more to this than just the practices. The thing that I talked to a couple of organizers today about this, one of the things that the Polynesian Bowl stresses is, look, we're not here to beat up the kids. They're about ready to go to play ball at the college level. They're going to get beat up in practice plenty. They don't need to get beat up in this practice. So it's not one of those things where they're just driving these kids into the ground and trying to say, this is what it's going to be like, get used to it. They're here to celebrate. They're celebrating really successful high school careers and the start of some really potentially successful professional careers after the college is done. And they're also here to celebrate a culture that stresses love and family values and respect and dignity and so much more. And there's a lot to this that I think people miss. And as much as we try to get it across in every interview we do and every year we're here, I still think we can't get it all across. And I think it's just something that I enjoy a lot about this environment. We really get to see a lot, and we get to learn a lot about a lot of different people. There are going to be a lot of kids from Hawaii participating in this because they're trying to fill rosters. They're trying to make sure that they make this a truly Polynesian-centric event in a way that promotes so much more than just a game. And the thing to keep in mind here now is the NFL Network now owns the rights to the broadcast. So when you see in the future these kids that, you're going to see maybe in the future, the NFL Network is going to be able to say, hey, here's some highlights of Travis Hunter when he was a Polynesian All-Star, right? You're going to be able to see some of these things happening over the future. And I think that's going to be a lot of fun. We've met a lot of different people here. We talked to Gary Kubiak today. We'll talk to Jim Caldwell later this week as well. Once we get the rosters tomorrow, we'll be able to figure out, these coaches and what they're going to talk to about. There's just going to be so much. And I think if you guys are not subscribed yet to Duck Sports Authority, do it, because we're going to have all of the interviews this week up and running. We're going to have some commentary about the practices, about what we see. We're going to have some video that'll be exclusive to Duck Sports Authority. Just a bunch of different things. You guys, if you have not subscribed yet, do it. Take a chance on us. We're going to really hit it with this. We're going to start a lot of different things over the year. And I think you're going to learn a lot about these young men. And we'll stop calling them kids because they're young men now. They're about in college. We had a great interview with Zaire Addison today. If you don't like what he says, I don't know what to tell you, because that guy's a great conversation. You could talk to him for hours and he could talk to you for hours. Doug Utu, really good conversation. A little bit different in the way he talks. He's a little bit more measured and talks differently. He's just a little bit quieter, and that's okay. We want a cross section of our team, and we want a cross section of the personalities that exist, because I think when you look at what creates a college football team, it's not just all big energy or all small energy or all in between. It's this combination of things. And the thing that stood out to me, I think, we ran into Corian Moore yesterday at the airport. We chatted really briefly, incredibly respectful young man. And then we chatted with him a lot more today, and the confidence that he exudes, the kind of things that you want a wide receiver to be, he is, and the kind of things that he says. And yet at the end, he's not disrespecting any of his opponents. He's just really confident in his own ability. He's not disrespecting teammates. He's confident in his own ability. And I think one of the other things that stood out, and I'll tell you without violating too much of our of our premium content. Every single person I talked to that's had a chance to practice with Dante Moore during the break, the kids that showed up early, you guys, everybody on this team is 100% locked and loaded, believing that Dante Moore is the real deal, and he's going to make this team really good next year. These guys say there's not going to be a drop-off. You might even see this team be a little bit better offensively next year. This could be a top 5 offense, a top 2 offense, just that good with what he can do with his arm, the talent they have coming back, some of the stuff that's going to be at offensive line. It's going to be a lot of fun. I encourage you guys, stay with us this week. We're going to do the Sports Chat 503 podcast ourselves later this week. We might bring another podcast later in this week from one of the other practices just to kind of wrap up the week. I think it's going to be a crazy week. I might wrap up the week when we get back Sunday. I'm not sure. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it, and have a great evening.